Welcome back to my Pokemon Pirate Black playthrough, and it looks like there's a battle girl in our way. That's not good. Are we gonna have to battle now, or...? No, okay. Sometimes it's hard to tell whether someone's a trainer or whether they're just gonna give you something useful. Like this girl. She gives you Rock Smash, now demoted once again to TM status. Rock Smash has had a rather hilarious history. It was first a TM move in Gold and Silver, with an additional use outside of battle. In Generation 4, it became an HM and was required to progress the game, despite being possibly one of the worst HM moves in existence. Other than Defog, but anyway. And then in this generation, it's been demoted back down to TM. But fortunately, TMs are infinite use, so it still retains its infinite usage. It's pretty useless outside of the early game, though. But anyway, this right here actually sums up why Team Plasma are the villains of this game. Their ideology is not bad, it's just that they insist that everyone else's is wrong. And that's one of the main themes of this game. Oh damn it, rustling grass, but I'm not actually going to be able to get there. It'll be an Ordino anyway, it doesn't really matter. Speaking of Ordinos and other helpful things, see this girl here? She doesn't battle you unless you talk to her, but she's quite an interesting new class of trainer introduced in Generation 5. And these trainers are, you can see here, are nurses. And they're also doctors, you'll be seeing them later. Now, challenging nurses and doctors is optional. They won't battle you unless you actually talk to them. And also, they're pretty obvious by their map sprites. They don't share their map sprite with any other class, so it's very, very easy to tell what they are. And, oh, come on, your Muna has Psybeam. Mine is stuck with stupid Psywave. Anyway, Psybeam is quite a painful attack, so I'm going to send in Dr. Acula to resist it. Purloin would actually be somewhat useful. That actually hits surprisingly hard, despite being resisted. Fortunately, let's see if I can do to you what, Woobats did to my Muna. Oh, Yawn, really? Okay, I've got a sadistic choice here. I either stay in and fall asleep, or switch out and take a Psybeam with someone who can't really take a Psybeam. I ended up deciding to stay in. Just hope this can... Yeah, Assurance is, I guess I'll talk about Insurance later. Okay, Imprison at this point in the game is pretty useless, so you don't really have to worry about it. I'll probably talk more about Imprison later, because at the moment I'm talking about nurses. Now, you'll see why, though, it's helpful to challenge nurses despite them being optional right after this battle. If I can just wake up. Please wake up, come on. I'm gonna have to heal you. Now, speaking of which, there have been changes to the sleep mechanics in Generation 5. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Generation 5, basically... Oh, come on! Sorry. Anyway, in every generation, whenever a Pokemon falls asleep, it is, at that point, already determined how many turns they will stay asleep for. Now, in the previous generations, you could just switch out, and you'd switch back in, and you'd keep your sleep turn count. In this generation, though, your sleep counter resets if you switch out. Which makes sleep a whole lot more powerful than it used to be, and it means that it pretty much means that all competitive battles should have Sleep Claws on. I know Sleep Claws are pretty much always enforced, but... really, Sleep Claws really needs to be enforced in this generation. So anyway, here's the good thing about nurses and doctors. After you beat them, they heal your whole team. For free. And in fact, every time you talk to them afterwards, they will also give you a free heal. Essentially, you get a Pokemon Center on the go. Very, very useful. Especially in places like here, that can be pretty tough. Okay, I'll just skip you two for the time being, and skip this grass. Although, yeah, there was an item on the other side of this fence. Oh, and it's a Great Ball. Given that I can buy those now, that's not all that useful. A couple of preschoolers playing on the train tracks there. Didn't their parents tell them that was dangerous? Oh, stop trolling me with those items. Okay, I can skip that youngster, but just gotta be careful because he does turn around. Grab this item right here. Antidote, that's going to come in handy in a little while, and I guess I'll just battle you. I don't know, I probably would have had to battle him to progress through this route. Now, yeah, think about this area. It's not considered a new route. This is Pinwheel Forest exterior. Pinwheel Forest is kind of interesting in that the interior and exterior have totally separate wild Pokemon encounter lists, and you just sent out a bug type when I've got it. Actually, I take that back. You're not stupid after all. Okay, I'm going to have to get out of there, because that rollout is going to hurt. Yep, anyone who's faced with this Miltank will know just how painful rollout gets. Uh-oh. Yeah, I can't take any more of that. Gust being special really hurts. Oh, wait a minute, forget that. I've got Quick Attack. Sorry, forgot. Anyway, Gust being special really hurts Pidove. Oh, you've got more? Yeah, this route is actually... Okay, I stopped calling it a route anyway. Pinwheel Forest exterior, actually probably one of the toughest areas I've ever had to face so far in this challenge. It's like, of course, they assume you to be reasonably higher level than the majority of the wild Pokemon are. Now, once we actually start catching Pokemon here, then we'll be on more of an even footing. And you'll want to catch stuff here because... Damn that adamant nature. See, Shockwave is not doing much. This is why you need Spark, but, I mean, this thing just doesn't have Spark. Annoyingly. Alright, I guess I'll send in Diane and tank you. See, this is surprisingly tough. I really desperately need something in this grass. Now, like the gym guy said, you can find fighting types around here, which is extremely important considering that we've seen so many normal types and we're about to see a lot more. And so far, we've had nothing that can hit their weaknesses, which, yeah, has been really irritating. So a fighting type will really help. And, luckily for us, there are 2 fighting types we can get on this route. Both of them are very good, and we're going to want to pick up, yeah, both of them. Sadly, in things like Nuzlocke challenges where you're restricted in what you can... Damn it! Stupid fight. Where you're restricted in what you can get, then, let's just say that, this next gym can be absolute hell in Nuzlockes. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So you'll see here is some dark grass. First I'm gonna have to go back and heal. That youngster was surprisingly... damn it. What have I got here? Another Pidove. This is not the most interesting thing on this route. There are... Okay, at least 3 things we want to catch here, and that thing's gonna... Oh, okay, I ran away anyway. At least 3 things we want to catch over here. And, oh, great, I'm gonna run into one of those 2, aren't I? Now, yeah, just a warning, I was actually pretty tired when I was playing this, so, I may make several stupid decisions during this part. Again, yeah, it's because I was very tired while I was recording this part of preschool and junior. Am I the only one who finds it disturbing that there's a preschooler named after, a literary character famous for dying? Anyway. Let's just heal up. Oh, this is the first time we've seen a Cottony, isn't it? We'll be getting our very own Cottony later, after the next gym. Cottony is a pretty decent Pokemon for several reasons. Firstly, you might have noticed that that Stun Spore came out awfully quickly, didn't it? Cottony has a special ability that is incredibly irritating if you're on the receiving end of it. It's very useful if you're using one, but anyway. So basically what Cottony's ability is it's Prankster. One of, hands down, the best new abilities to be introduced this generation. Seriously, it's actually probably one of the best abilities in the game in my book. What Prankster does is, it makes any non-damaging moves act like Quick Attack. They all get +1 priority. So basically that means that things like Stun Spore, Leech Seed, they automatically go first. Fortunately, it can't learn Sleep Powder, that would just be ridiculous. But it gets a whole bunch of really good support moves that it really benefits from being able to use first. Especially Tailwind. I've built a whole team around Prankster Tailwind. It's incredibly useful. Oh wow, I'm getting very lucky with your Leech Seeding. Leech Seed, I find, it's really strange. Leech Seed is one of the few non-damaging moves that, actually says it's got different, text messages for some reason. If it misses, it says it failed, and it's one of the few non-damaging moves that will actually, outright... It's one of the few, like, status moves that will outright say it doesn't affect a specific type. But it doesn't actually follow normal type matchups. Grass types are immune to Leech Seed, despite grass types normally not being immune to other grass moves. Oh, oh right, oh, okay, wait, it's failing it's failing because you already used it. Okay, wow, you're an idiot. Anyway, this here is Petalil. Petalil is the white version counterpart to Cottony. So if you're playing black like me, then, I'm not raising Pokemon, I'm actually prohibited from raising them. Anyway. Oh wow, that's surprisingly good advice for a preschooler. So anyway, this... Oh, Nurse is such an arsey ascent, I love you, seriously. Saves you having to go back to the Pokemon Center every time. Here we go. Here's something we need on this route, a Tympole, and that's level 15. That's actually surprisingly high. I think I might try and catch this one. Now, I think I should talk a little bit about Tympole. Now, I've said it before, I don't approve of people bashing Pokemon solely based on design. In fact, it's one of my big pet peeves of the series. I absolutely hate it when someone hates on something just because of its design. In this case, though, I'm going to go and be a hypocrite, and I'm going to say I really, really don't like Tympole. I think it looks hideously ugly. I think it looks like a human face grafted onto a deformed tadpole. Yeah, I really do not like Tympole or its evolution family. Design-wise, I've already said it. Gameplay-wise, seriously, oh, okay, and another reason I don't like them. Is it just me, or does the sound effect for round sound utterly creepy? To me, it just sounds incredibly creepy. Round is a very, very weird move that is very gimmicky and doesn't see a lot of use. I don't really think I need to discuss it. I think, you know, it's such an obscure move, I don't quite off the top of my head remember what it does, but I think it gets more powerful the more Pokemon that use it in any given turn. So in other words, it's made for like doubles and triples, but even then, wow, come on. Even then, it's still extremely gimmicky and not that good a move to use, especially given that it only has 50 power to begin with, and you may as well be using Hyper Voice if you want a special normal move. And of course, the vast majority of things that get round also get Hyper Voice, so it's, again, kind of pointless. So like I was saying, Tympole, ugh. Gameplay-wise, part of the reason I hate this whole line is because... Seriously, did we really need another Water Ground? I mean, they already threw a whole bunch of inferior Swampert clones at us as it is. And even now, Swampert's fallen from grace quite considerably, and Gastrodon and Quagsire have both got a lot better. So, really, there's not much reason to use this thing. I just do not like Seismitoad very much at all. I just think it's a huge wasted concept. And we already have too many frog Pokemon as it is. I mean, we've got Poliwrath, Politoed, Toxicroak, who I have to admit was still pretty cool, and now Froakie. So, again, they're introducing a whole lot of frog Pokemon. Okay, this thing, you shall forever be known as Uglipoid. Oh, I'm sorry, I feel so bad at being horribly abusive to this thing. I just do not like Tympole very much at all. But I will admit, having one on my side is actually going to be pretty useful, because that Bubble Beam is very, very powerful at this point in the game. 60 power move, was it 65? I keep forgetting. With Stab, it's actually really strong, so... And it's also surprisingly fast, so... Tympole is not a bad thing to have at this point, so I guess I'll catch one. Again, 60 power Stab move, I don't think I've ever had anything of that magnitude before. I'm just going to go ahead and battle this guy, just because, again... One, I might need money. In fact, speaking of money, I should probably say this now. Oh. I was expecting Preschooler Romeo, but that's even more hilarious. Oh, wow. I guess you're gonna go... you're probably gonna go ranting about how you are so SMRT. Anyway... This thing is a rock and roller, it is not going to take water moves well, but annoyingly it has Sturdy. Again, I'll talk about... Wow, you do that much to do with Headbutt. Okay, this is the reason I probably need to replace this thing with Tympole. Fortunately, I get to go first with my water gun, and alright, Sturdy wouldn't have helped you anyway. Oh! Rock Blast? Are you serious? Rock Blast this early? Wow! For those of you who don't know, Rock Blast is one of, hands down, the strongest multi-hitting moves in the game. It's one of the few multi-hitting moves that's actually used competitively. That's how, well, I mean, it can be kind of annoying, you don't hit that often. But again, it's one of the few multi-hit moves that's actually used competitively. It's often called a sub-breaker, just because how it loves to just smash through a substitute, and phew, that was lucky. I don't know what I would have done if that had hit more. Now, I love getting the freeze frame on Blitzel's lightning main going yellow. It just looks really cool. Oh! Yeah, there was probably a better opportunity for a defeat quote there. Yeah, so basically, Sturdy got a massive buff in this generation, and I'll talk more about it when I actually start using it for myself, which, believe me, I will. So anyway, we've battled a couple of preschoolers. Okay, there's a youngster over there that we need to sneak past. His patrol route is... Okay, right, I guess I can sneak past you now. And right, now here we have... Okay, there's an item over there. We're about to venture forth into the dark grass and grab ourselves some fighting types. We're gonna need these. Oh, a super potion, we're probably gonna need that one too. And cutting out the boring bits here and skipping straight to the useful encounter I got. Okay, if I had not cut out all these superfluous wild encounters in this part, it would have gone on for about an hour and a half. Seriously. Now that timber, I believe, is... Wait, just 1 second. Okay, I think I need to explain something. I have a feeling that I actually used the run command there out of muscle memory after having so many wild encounters. Yeah, I'm really glad that failed, because I believe this timber is pretty close to the highest level you can catch them at, so I'm going to want to grab this thing. And yes, timber was used by N back in his battle, and it's a pretty interesting fighting type in that, from the get-go, it comes with rock throw. If you know anything about the series, you'll know fighting types are weak to flying, and so they often like to use rock moves to cover that weakness. Usually it's Stone Edge or Rock Slide, but in this case, Timber automatically starts with Rock Throw just by level up. Normally you have to wait until you get the TM before you can teach your fighting type rock moves. But again, like I was saying, Timber actually has to start with, and it's really lucky to spam. Okay. You are a very spam-happy Timber. This is actually a problem because I got a whole lot of things that are weak to either fighting or rock. Fighting and... Actually, no, that's ground and rock. Sorry, forget that. But rock does cover a lot of fighting's weaknesses, and so it's actually really useful that Timber actually comes with this move automatically. And part of the reason why it's a very useful Pokemon to catch in a playthrough where you can't level up anything. Oh, ow! Rock on head. Okay, this is going very, very badly. Very, very badly. See, like I said, this route is tough. It's not a route, it's the exterior Pinwheel Forest. It is tough. Really, really tough. Again, it'll get better once we start catching a few of these things. So it's very hard to start actually getting stuff, but once you do here, then things get a whole lot easier. Because the wild Pokemon you can catch here go all the way up to level 17 and 18, which is miles ahead of what we have at this point. So, oh, wow, this is bad. This is bad, 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 bad. Very bad, very, very bad. Okay, this is really bad. Really, really bad. Better switch out to my tank here. And, alright. Here's the really irritating thing about wild double battles. I haven't caught anything in a wild double battle before, have I? If I have, just forget that. But anyway. I'm just gonna chuck a Great Ball here. The really irritating thing about wild double battles is that you actually, it costs both your Pokemons to, and wow, okay, phew, if that had not worked, I may have been total party wiped. So we get a little Timber. Sadly mine will never be close to evolving. But, you know, this little guy will help me very, very well. And I've got a perfect name for you. I am gonna name you... Rocky. You know, because you love to spam rock throw so much, I think it's completely appropriate. So, I'll want to get that thing out of the PC as soon as I can, and I'm gonna desperately need to go back and heal. Oh, sweet Arceus, am I gonna need to heal. That was bad. That could have gone really, really badly. If that Great Ball had not... Oh, crap, this could be awful. Bad, bad, bad. Run away, run away. Oh, another Timber. Okay. Is that the same level as the last one I caught? Seriously, you wait ages for a Timber and then two come along at once. Speaking of which, it took me ages to find that first Timber. I cut a whole lot of footage just because, okay, I really don't want to run into you now. That would be very bad. Okay, I cut a whole lot of footage. If I had not cut all these superfluous wild Pokemon encounters, another one? Oh, seriously? Took me so long to find that Timber. So anyway, like I was saying, if I had not cut out all those extra encounters, this part would be about an hour and a half. Oh... Need to heal. Heal me, 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 heal me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh. So, we have a Timber, a fighting type that will really help us against the next coming gym. Actually, I just realized something. If you look at the time on my bottom screen, you can probably tell just how long it took me to get that Timber. Yeah, it's now just past midnight. It was much earlier than then when I started this part, so, yeah, it took me a very, very long time to grab that thing. So anyway, there is one more Pokemon we're gonna need to get. It's a Pokemon that is gonna be so helpful in the next gym, something that is extremely useful, and that if you're playing Black version, even in a no experience playthrough, I would highly recommend you get. Because it's actually one of the best random wild Pokemon you can find in the entire game. In fact, people have soloed the whole game with this Pokemon, that's how good it is. What is it? Well... we interrupt this broadcast to bring you... the Fail Channel! Welcome, one and all, to a special edition of the Fail Channel that we like to call Everybody Was Kung Fu Failing. Seriously, you have to do this now? Of course we have to do this now, because you failed very miserably at this point in the game. You know, you're really not doing good for my self-esteem here. Well, that is one of the Fail Channel's MOs. Ruining others' self-esteem for the amusement of our loyal viewers. Anyway, as the player was about to get their hands on a special Pokemon that would have helped them a lot in the upcoming gym, they severely underestimated just how strong this Pokemon could be. And so, roll the tapes, with some mood music. After many hours of fruitless searching, the player finally finds the object of their hunt, the elusive, level 17 Sawk. One of the highest level Pokemon that is available at this point in the game. Which in itself is a serious problem. The player must catch this to stand a chance against the gym leader. Unfortunately, will they catch an embarrassing defeat instead? Seriously, that joke was not funny. Does it look like I care? And so the player, in their quest, attempts to endure the beast's rampage, striking it with gentle, not very effective palm slaps. Its AI derps. The player feels they may have a chance. It derps again. Not quite in the yellow. They must not risk it breaking free. The challenger breaks forth its signature move. The counter you for a crap ton of damage attack. The player feels this is now the opportunity to throw the Great Ball. Nothing less will suffice. Will work. 1, 2, 3! No! Almost had it, but not quite. the challenger continues to store energy. The player, fruitily grasping at straws, attempts to throw a regular Pokeball in an attempt to cause a hilarious twist of fate. 3! No! Once again it breaks out on the third wobble. Will another regular Pokeball do it? They cannot risk to use another Great Ball. This time, the challenger has grown wise to these tactics and breaks out of it with a single swift chop. Their main fighting resist is down. Things are looking grim. Out comes Dream Drop. It's yawned at the foe in an attempt to make them fall into a deep slumber that will enable them to be easily captured. The player continues to fruitlessly chuck Pokeballs in hope that one will get through, but no, it is to no avail. Sawk breaks out its signature move, the Double Kick. Many have said that if Sawk was the only Pokemon in existence to know Double Kick, you would never know that it would be able to hit twice. That is how powerful this move is. The player futilely attempts to send out one of his weakened Pokemon as a decoy, hoping to buy just enough time. Only 4 Great Balls remain. Surely one of these will catch it before it wakes up. No! Despite being asleep and on yellow health, it breaks out instantly. Ah! This was the part where I almost smashed my head against a wall. 3 Great Balls remain. Will this one do it? 2, 3! No! It is to no avail, once again. Fortunately, it remains asleep, but for how long? How long can the player's team keep this up? How long can they outlast its relentless onslaughts? No! Once again, it breaks forth instantly! The player is now on the verge of smashing every single item in their household. Their frustration melts. Will it cause them to make a fatal mistake? Another Great Ball! Another instant breakout! The low sweep. Anything struck by the low sweep shall have its agility sapped from them. But Thunderhoof fears not. He is already agile. The player feels he must needs to, but not agile enough. Thunderhoof falls. Things are looking even grimmer. Only 2 Pokemon remain. Diane cannot withstand this creature's attacks. The player must hope that the next ball catches it. They resort to their super desperation attack, the Dust Ball. Given how late at night it is, this thing should work. 1! No! It fails! Their last ditch. Desperation attack has failed them. All is lost. The player can now futilely fumble as they wildly attempt to throw as many Pokeballs as possible. 1! No! Not again. The player's despair is building. They feel there is no chance for them to win this, but they have to go on. There must be a way that they can succeed. Somehow, if luck favors them. 3! No! They have 14 of these left, but they know that their party will be wiped long before the last Pokeball is thrown. Things will be over soon. Another breakout. And the creature shows no mercy. Low Sweep instantly takes down Diane. The player now only has 1 Pokemon remaining. But there is still one tiny ray of hope. If they can throw 1 Pokeball and it manages to succeed, all this will not be in vain. Their sacrifices will not go unremembered. Wow. My despair is mounting so much that I'm mincing my words. The Pokeball fails. They will not result to heal balls though, they have more dignity than that. 1. No! It focuses its energy in an attempt to spite the player even more, but things will all be over soon. 1 more Pokeball, just 1, if this works! If this works! No! And so it ends. Round 1. goes to the Blue Beast. Round 2. Fight! And this time, the Sawk appears with a buddy. A young female Timpole willing to brutally slaughter the player's team with the Bubble Beam. But with 2 Pokemon in play, will the player have the advantage? The Blue Beast once again takes the first point, knocking out Thunderhoof with 2 well-placed kicks. The vile Timpole strikes with Bubble Beam. But Dream Drops gets the yawn in. This could be the all-important deciding factor in this battle. But first the player must eliminate the Timpole, for as long as it exists, they will never be able to capture the Blue Beast. It will be shielded from their Pokeballs. 3 down already, things are not looking good in this second round. The Blue Beast falls asleep, but how long will it last? It seems the player is now fumbling with awkward double battle switching mechanics. Yeah, when you lose 2 Pokemon in double battle at once, it's kinda hard to actually figure out what you're supposed to do here. You actually have to switch places with one of the 2 at the head of the party. It's really awkward and I don't know why they did that. Anyway, back to the fail channel. With only 2 Pokemon remaining. Is all lost for this challenger, or can they turn things around? Remember, a fight is never truly decided until the last moments. But that Timpole still has full HP. They must take it down before the Sawk awakes, or else they will be in serious trouble. A critical hit strikes. Scratch does not do nearly enough. It is impossible. The player's Pokeballs are not working. The vile Timpole is blocking them. It must be destroyed. But the beast awakes. With 2 swift kicks, it fells Aquamonk. And now the player only has 1 remaining. Will it be the Timpole that spells his end? Sawk win! And so, the Blue Beast takes round 2. But will the player take this in stride? No, they refuse to give up. The 3rd round. This one shall decide everything. Okay, here we go. Round 3, Sawk, let's do this. I will get you this time. Now, yeah, what I cut out is the massive amount of time it took me just to find these level 17 ones. Oh, seriously. Just took so long, and after... seriously, like, it would take me about 30 minutes before I found a level 17 Sawk. I will accept no lower than 17. 17 is the highest level you can get these things at. So basically, it took me so long to find one at the right level, and then I'd end up getting slaughtered by it. So, yeah. In case you haven't realized, these things are tough. Really, really tough. They are probably some of the strongest wild Pokemon. In fact, possibly some of the strongest early game wild Pokemon ever. Yes, I would go so far as to say that. Wow. Of course, it does mean all the better if you manage to catch one. They are perfectly manageable in a normal playthrough if you should be like level 17 by now. Yeah, if you're not, this thing is going to completely slaughter you. Like I said in the fail channel, someone once actually made a joke on a forum saying, if Sawk was the only Pokemon in the game that could learn Double Kick, you wouldn't know that it could hit twice. It's that powerful. Sawk, I would say, is possibly one of the best in-game Pokemon in all of... Oh, damn it. In all of Black and White. Black and White 2 severely nerfed it by making you not be able to catch it until just before the Elite Four. So, the developers obviously realised just how horribly broken this thing was. Like, I mean, By competitive standards, there are better fighting types. In-game, though, this thing is practically the Catria of Black and White. It's available early, extremely powerful from the get-go, and it doesn't need evolution to be useful. Its stats are already comparable to a fully evolved Pokemon. Now, Dr. Acula here, double critical? Whoa! This thing is just ridiculous. But anyway, I double resist fighting, so I should be fine. Fortunately, this thing knows no rock moves. If it did, well, I'd be completely stuffed, basically. Oh, you're kidding me! Okay, I had horrible luck with Pokeballs that night. Seriously horrible luck. As you could probably tell on the fail channel. Seriously, when it was asleep, it looked as though my Pokeballs were doing worse than when it wasn't asleep. So anyway, though, my fighting type resist, I'm just going to keep healing them. As long as you keep a nice fighting resist healthy, this isn't really too bad. If you lose this thing, though, yeah, my team is going to fall apart. So, yeah, this thing hurts an awful lot. So, anyway, like I was saying, Sawk, yeah, pretty much the Catria of this game. If you're actually playing through the game with experience, I would highly recommend using this thing throughout the entire game. It's that good. It's got stats befitting of a fully evolved Pokemon, really, and you really can't go wrong with it. Okay, come on. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Oh, I did it. I actually did it. Level 17 Sawk. That was so worth it. Oh. Oh yes, and the sound of it destroying my team can also be heard across the forest and the mountains. Yikes, okay, I am naming you. I've always wanted to do this. Not Party Wiper, although I was tempted. Yeah, you can probably tell where I'm going with this one. I've always wanted to name a fighting type this. You must catch me to stand a chance against Lenora, after all. So, phew, I need to heal desperately. With that done, oh, okay, it only wiped out half my team that time. I think keeping Dr. Acula alive is the main... Oh, please don't be another Sawk. Phew. If it was, I would seriously... I would have been seriously annoyed. So, anyway, back to the healer for us. Oh no, this is the thing I hate about Pinwheels. Hard to escape from. Anyway, back to the healer, and that's pretty much everything we need capturing-wise from this whole area. Okay, at this point, I was really tired and delirious from my close call with that Sawk. So, I was really stupid and went, oop-de-derby-de-derby-derb, and ran right into this guy. Yeah, I was tired when I recorded this, can you blame me? Oh. Seriously. Okay, this battle could have been very, very bad. Quite a lot of level 13 Pinwheels. Hey, see, the Sawks are much higher level than any of the trainers here. So, yeah, once we've caught one of these things, it should be relatively fine. That's the highest level thing we can actually get for quite a while, actually. So, really, that thing is going to serve us well. So, we'll have to go back to the PC and pick it up. Gotta make Lenora a hell of a lot easier. But, anyway, one thing I haven't mentioned is that Sawk is, in fact, not quite exclusive to Black version. Semi-exclusive. Now, I say semi-exclusive. There isn't really much going on in this battle, so I might as well go ahead and explain this now. Semi-exclusive is a term that I use to describe Pokemon that aren't actually version exclusive, but are much easier to find on one version than another. A good example of this was back in Gold and Silver. You had Caterpie and Weedle. Caterpie was much easier to find on Gold and Heart Gold. Weedle was much easier to find on Silver and Soul Silver, but both were available no matter what version you had. It's just that one was pretty common throughout the game, whereas the other was much rarer outside of the bug-catching contest. Sawk and its counterpart, Throck, were basically Black and White's answer to that. Semi-version exclusives. Basically, Sawk is much, much easier to find on Black than on White. So basically, if you're playing White version, then instead of Sawk, you'll find Throck. I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that correctly, I just like to pronounce it that way, so, yeah, it makes the pun a bit less obvious. So, anyway, Throck is what you get for White version, and, it's a little less offensive and more defensive than Sawk is. It specialises more in HP and defense. Not defense, well, it's a bit bulky, it's kind of not the best defenses, but its HP is pretty good. Its attack suffers a little bit, but it still hits hard, and it'll still do you well for Lenora. Throck is actually kind of interesting, because it learns a couple of signature moves. Sawk doesn't actually get any signature moves, I mean, not that it needs them. But Throck actually has a couple of them. Circle Throw, which forces the opponent to switch after damaging them, kind of like a damaging version of Roar Whirlwind. And Storm Throw, a very interesting move that forces a critical hit on the foe. It's got the power of, like, well, not tackle anymore, it's got 40 base power, pretty bad, but it's an auto-critical, so it's effectively an 80 power and ignores defense modifiers. It can be quite useful against opponents that like to boost. But yeah, sadly, Sawk does not actually get any signature moves like that. It's also kind of interesting because their abilities also would be much more useful on the other one. Sawk's ability is Sturdy, which, as you can tell, would have been much more useful on a defensive Pokemon that likes to force things to switch with Storm Throw. Throck, on the other hand, I believe it gets something like Guts, which actually would have been much more useful for Sawk. So, interesting. So, the reason I'm talking about Throck here is, you won't be seeing one of them in this playthrough. Technically speaking, you can find them on Black, but you need to get them in Rustling Grass. I could try and get one right now if I wanted to, except I don't want to. 1, I don't want it to wipe my party, and 2, it's only got a 5% chance of showing up next to Ordino. Yeah! So basically, if you're playing white version, then you'll need to go into Rustling Grass if you want Sawk. But, Throck should pretty much suffice for your needs in white. So, yeah, just get whichever one. They're both great. Competitively, they're not the best fighting types out there, but you know what? I think they're probably... Nah, actually, you know, are they better than Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan? I still like Sawk a lot more than both of them, but Throck, I do think Hitmonlee is pretty decent, and Hitmonchan got a lot better once the elemental punches became, physical rather than special. Yeah, got a whole lot better. Hitmonchan was awful before the physical special split. One of the worst fighting types in existence. Just because the vast majority of its move pool was special. Yeah, that thing was terrible back then. It's a lot better now. Or in fact, should I say he, because they are in fact a male-only species. Which is interesting. Makes breeding egg moves onto them a whole lot harder. Right, weird tangent there. Okay, I desperately need to go heal because I now only have one thing left. If I find another wild... Okay, that could have ended really badly. And you know what? I'm going to go all the way back to the Pokemon Center and put these new Pokemon right in my team. So, yeah, let's go back, heal, and change our team around and add these great new additions to our party. Now, I'm actually going to head back to Pinwheel Forest exterior just for a little bit. There's a tiny bit of the route we haven't quite explored yet, so I may as well don't do that in this part. It's not entirely necessary, especially since I don't need the experience, but I like to show off everything, and I just feel like, you know, I'm just missing something if I don't show it. So, yeah, there's also kind of an interesting thing up at the end of this route. So, anyway, here is my, ugly pole. It has a brave nature, which is not really going to be very helpful, but Bubble Beam is still powerful. It's got a lot of 20s in its stats. Now let's check out Rocky over here. Hardy nature. Again, not bad, not good either. Sheer Force is a great ability though. A shame I won't get a chance to use that one. It doesn't benefit Low Kick or Rock Throw. Benefits Rock Slide though, and... Timid? Really? Oh, well at least it's going to be outspeeding things. And let's be honest, it's going to be brutally annihilating everything, even with a minus attack nature. So yeah, you'll see there Bide, Focus Energy, Double Kick, Low Sweep. You probably want to keep both Double Kick and Low Sweep because they're both kind of useful moves. Double Kick because, comboed with Focus Energy, you have twice the chance of getting a critical hit, which can be pretty useful. And... Low Sweep... Well, the speed reduction can really save your life sometimes. I mean, not that he's going to need it with his plus speed nature. Speaking of Low Sweep, there's a bit of an interesting thing about Low Sweep. Low Sweep's Japanese name was in fact Low Kick. Yes, literally Low Kick. The localizers obviously realized they'd screwed themselves over when they, of course, named a move from the first generation mat. I believe the Japanese name of low kick was something like kick down or kick legs or something like that, which just wouldn't really work when translated. I can understand why they went with low kick, and then Generation 5 goes ahead and introduces this new move that's literally in Japanese called low kick, which, yeah, low kick. So, yeah. Pokemon websites like Cerebi had a really hard time trying to, explain that and keep that move in their databases without completely screwing everything over because they have the same name as another one. There have actually been an awful lot of moves that have been introduced that have had the same names as old ones, and the localizations had to change them. Comet Punch is one example. You might be wondering why Meteor Mash looks like a punching move despite not being named like one. In fact, its Japanese name is just Comet Punch. Of course, the localization already used the term Comet Punch for a move introduced in Generation 1. Comet Punch in Japanese, well, the move we call Comet Punch, was called just Consecutive Punch in Japanese. That wouldn't fit the character limits. So anyway, random rambling aside, we've now fixed up our party, and I rambled so long I forgot to check what I actually put in there. I guess we'll find out soon enough, because there are a couple more trainers left here. I know that really, I'm pretty much all but ready to go and take on the gym right now. I just want to show off a bit of the exterior of Pinwheel Forest just because I don't like to miss anything in my playthroughs. I just don't. So anyway, we've already battled him, and let's climb this big steps up to the cliff. So we can see there's a black belt up there and a battle girl. Battle girl's looking well, you'll see in a moment. Here's one that actually does battle you. What is the challenge, Rock? Well, you'll find out in a little bit. Now, yeah, interesting thing about this generation is that battle girls look a lot more Asian-inspired than they did back in Generation 4, when they looked extremely Western. Which is, yeah, kind of interesting. And she sends out a timber! Right, ugly pole, are you ready to try and redeem yourself in my eyes? Alright, hitting with a 5% accuracy move, good start. Now, hurt yourself! Oh! Okay, you can take this rock throw, come on, it's nothing. Oh, nice! Okay, you're doing quite well, actually. And even with a negative speed nature, you're still outspeeding this thing, and oh, come on, that's pathetic. You know, fighting types in general actually tend to have good special defense. I guess, yeah, it's just kind of weird, it just kind of makes up for their psychic weakness. But, Timbur's evolution family is one of the few exceptions. Its fully evolved form, Conkeldurr, actually has really bad special defense. It's one of the few fighting types that's most likely to be 1-hit KO'd by Psychic, so kinda interesting that. Now, regular potions aren't gonna cut it as much from now on. Yeah, 20 HP is really not that much at all. But dodging rock throws is a good sign. Do not want to send out Dan here. And I just realised I really could go for Dr. Actually, no, wait, what am I thinking? Stupid, rock throw, yeah. Ooh, focus energy, yeah. I remember, you know, focus energy used to be the subject of much ridicule back in the day, not unfoundedly, because back in Generation 1, focus energy had a hilarious glitch involving it, in that, I presume one of the programmers accidentally put a division sign where they were supposed to put a multiplication sign, because in Generation 1, instead of increasing your critical hit rate, it actually quartered it. Oh, that was hilarious. Yeah, using focus energy in red and blue actually cuts your critical hit rate actually quarters it. Yeah. It's supposed to multiply it by 4, I believe, so, someone must have really screwed up. They must have made a typo in the programming or something. Because that was just ridiculous. In Pokemon Stadium, the move works correctly. Stadium corrected a whole lot of move errors back in Generation 1. But anyway, Focus Energy increases your critical hit ratio by 2 stages, which is actually not that bad. Usually it's not worth wasting a turn on something that's kind of luck-based. Early in the game, though, it's kind of useful, and especially with Sawk. Oh, another Timburr. I was having a feeling that you were going to send out a Sawk. That would be just cruel. Anyway, because you can actually combo Focus Energy with Double Kick to have twice the chance of getting a critical. Of course, given my luck, that usually never works, but anyway. Oh wow, not even 2 in KO. Okay, that could be bad, because given the AI's ridiculous hacks, if that rock throw crits me, that's not good. Oh wow. Please don't crit, 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 please don't crit. Oh, phew! Well, that was close. Anyway, Gust is incredibly helpful for Woobat, given that it's special in this generation rather than physical. So anyway, we have defeated Black Belt Kentaro. I swear I've heard that name before on a martial arts expert. I really swear I have. So anyway, what is this challenge rock? This is the challenge rock. If you would you like to have Rocky smash the rock? Aye. So basically what the challenge rock is that every day, once per day, you can press A on the challenge rock. If you have a fighting type Pokemon in your party, you can have them smash the rock. This gives you a star piece. Star pieces sell for ridiculous amounts of money, so it's quite a good source of income early in the game, and it's very easy to have a fighting type on your team at this point, so you should be able to smash it just fine. Later on in the game, you tend to forget to go back here every day and get the star piece. Damn it, I hate these things being so fast. Anyway, star pieces are actually quite useful in this game for a few other reasons. Later on, we'll encounter someone who can trade star pieces for valuable items, so this is useful for getting more star pieces, and we need to heal again. So that's pretty much everything we have to do up and out of Pinwheel Forest. We can't explore inner Pinwheel Forest yet, but now there's really nothing left to do but head back to the Crane City and check out the gym. Yes, it's time for Lenora. And for some stupid reason, I'm going to the Pokemon Center and... okay, for pure comedy value, watch this. Out of sheer muscle memory, I go and heal my Pokemon here too. This is, yeah, I was really derping the day I recorded this, but I guess it's just muscle memory for me. You go into a Pokemon Center, you heal your Pokemon. It's just what you do. This is why I'm here. I'm gonna need to buy a few items because, yeah, if you know anything about Black and White, you'll know that the second gym leader is kinda infamous among the fandom for being almost the Whitney of this generation. You know what's really weird though? I'll talk about this more next part where we actually battle her, but me, I've never actually found Lenora that hard. I can understand why she'd be a nightmare in a Nuzlocke challenge, because you're not guaranteed to get a good fighting type, but in a normal playthrough, really, as long as you get a Sawk, it's pretty easy. So the moral of this episode, I'm going to sell my star piece just so I can get more healing items. Moral of this episode, use Sawk, unless you're playing white, in which case you probably have to make do with Throch. But anyway, use it. It is awesome. Seriously, seriously awesome. I'm running a little low on Pokeballs though after those misadventures, but for the time being I'm going to have to content myself with Super Potions. Regular Potions aren't cutting it. Super Potions are not cost effective. Once we get to the next city, we'll find a better solution than Super Potions, but for the time being, they're the best we've got. So let's head on over to the gym. Don't really need to check out any of these exhibits. Let's get on up here, and into the gym. I'll see you next time when we take on the Archaeologist with Backbone.